Hi again, YouTube land. I just want to post something quick. I promise. I know I already posted something earlier that was relatively long. I literally just got off the phone with my mom. And my head is pounding from how hard I was laughing. Like, seriously. Now, when I was younger, I had a mother who, in the best of terms, was a sadistic, psychotic, dictatorial, manipulative, conniving bitch of a person. In the strictest, nicest terms. Now, they say that nature and nurture can be opposing sides of the same coin. I say it in a more optimistic way, which is that they're two sides of the same coin. Nature creates you, nurture defines you. Nature gave me my mother. And there are days where I pay for that more than others. But between nurture and karma, I ended up with my mom, who, in the strictest legal definition, is my stepmom. But my mom is so awesome. And I want to state this in a public YouTube way, okay? My mom is awesome. It's impossible for me to describe her in like a physical sense because the way I think of her and the way I see her are so intrinsically linked that it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'll describe in the terms I describe, and your mind will assign whatever physical traits it thinks are appropriate. My mom is hilarious. The reason I just got off the phone with her is she's been really out of it sick the last week or so. I mean, antibiotic needing sick. And I felt really bad that she was so under the weather, and it took a week to figure out what was going on. It wasn't until this past Monday that they knew what the problem was. And my first reaction, because it's my mom, is I want to do something for her. My parents still live in Maine, I live here in New York. So I decided to bake my mom a batch of chocolate chip cookies. Now, you could order chocolate chip cookies. You could send prepackaged chocolate chip cookies. No. That's not my way of dealing with things when I want to make my family feel better. I cook. So I made, from scratch, a batch of chocolate chip cookies. Now, a batch is more or less 2.5 dozen. Well, I called and I asked what she wanted. I told her that was my idea. She said the chocolate chip cookies. So when my dad got back on the phone, I said, well, I'm already baking and sending something. What do you want? And my dad, being a foodie like me, said, well, what new recipes have you come up with lately? What have you been working on? So I told him, and he decided to go with a basic pound cake. Well, as I'm looking through my recipe books, I realize I have one for a good basic vanilla pound cake, but there's an alternate version that uses buttermilk. Of the things I'm confident of when it comes to my dad's tastes and palates, buttermilk is a key ingredient. He loves the stuff. So I made the vanilla pound cake with buttermilk for my dad and the chocolate chip cookies for my mom, and I sent them priority mail today. Because it's fresh baked stuff. You don't want it in the mail forever. So I was calling to find out whether or not it had arrived. And poor mom, she's still not feeling all of that great, but she stays on the phone with me for 10 15 minutes, having a very fun, pleasant conversation, and my mom's sense of humor, oh my god. So many people, a lot of people I've known, a lot of people I've seen, they don't get along with their parents because they think, my god, we're such dissimilar personalities, it's a whole different generation, and their sense of humor is based on these really old-ass music and TV shows and movies. No. Okay? My parents are from a different generation, obviously. But they still watch movies that come out now. They still watch TV shows. My dad works at a college radio station. My dad and I have plenty of music that we bond over. My mom and I have plenty of things that we bond over, you know, shows that we like on TV, actors that we like. There's even British comedy that my mom and I bond over. You don't get better in with me than having a similar taste of British comedy. So I just got to spend upwards of 15 minutes on the phone with my mom, cracking each other up. I mean, cracking each other up. My head is still throbbing. But, any minute now, my dinner order is going to arrive, as is, she says, looking at the clock, my husband. So, I'm going to stop recording. But I just wanted to briefly post something I'll expand on later, which is, my mom is awesome. And I think everybody has to know that. Because not everybody has an awesome mom, and I'm lucky enough to have one.